it po ng yung assistance, especially of course dun sa mga nag-victim po ng landslide. If you could just share ano po ang ay bahagi po natin tulong sa.
At tama yung sabi mo, nakakalungkot na walang typhoon no signal sa atin, ngunit sa lakas ng hangin at ulan dahil sa monsoon and habagat, ganun na yung nangyari at meron tayong casualties. I was already going down to Congress noong ata nangyari ang landslide sa Gisagsurong. Ngunit noong last Wednesday, talagang ginawa ko ang magagawin ko na aakyat ako para maabutan ko sila at maiabot natin ang ating kunting magagawang financial aid sa kanilang lahat. Fortunately, last Wednesday na bago ako umakyat, briefing namin sa Pagcor at PCSO. At pinarating ko sa PCSO, unang-una ang ating pasasalamat sa binigay na ng Pagcor I should say, ng mga food packs na right now, yon yung dinidistribute natin sa iba't ibang barangays, specifically at importantly, ang nasa evacuation centers na biktima ng itong malakas na ulan sa habagat. At pinarating ko rin kay ako chairman na Tingko ng Pagcor, yung casualties natin, humingi tayo ng tulong. Sabi ni Chairman Tingko, sa kanilang menu, hindi pwedeng gamitin daw yung pundo ng Pagcor for this purpose. Ngunit sabi niya, nakikisimpatize ako. So galing sa aking mismong personal allocation, ang itutulong ko dyan. At sabi niya, we will process it tomorrow. Magbigay ako ng 10,000 na each sa isang biktima. So ganun nga ang nangyari. At of course, nakipag-ugnayan ako sa DSWD kasi last Tuesday, umakyat ko siya ako Secretary Gatchalian at pinarating gusto niya magkasama kami, ngunit nasa Kongreso na ako at nagbigay siya ng 10,000 each sa isang biktima at meron siyang instruction sa DSWD at dito sa ating lungsod na isi-shoulder nila ang kanilang funeral and burial expenses. Yung problema lang natin dyan ay of course yung documentation na ay prepare para may release ang nila direkto sa funeraria ang burial expenses na babayaran nila sa funeraria. Sabi ko sa Israeli, dagdagan natin yung 10,000 na binigay ni Apos Secretary Gatchalian. Agad sabi niya ng Israeli, hindi naman pwedeng gugugin. 10,000 lang ang maximum na may bibigay sana namin. Sabi ko, tingnan naman natin kaawa-awa sila sa nangyari sa tulong ko kulang. 10,000 yan. So, by all means, total. Huwagin ninyo sa aking aplikasyon yan. Design yung budget. Dagdagan natin ng 10,000 din. Yung mga biktima. Ayan. At dagdagan ko rin yung ating personal na maiaabot sa kanila. So, the other day, binigay namin yung 15,000 each sa kanila. 10,000 sabi na po sa ating administrasyon na care of DSWD at 5,000 sa ating personal out na. At kahapon lang, through what Chairman Tito at told me during the meeting, deposito nila sa ating account yung 100,000 for 10 casualties. So, binigay natin kahapon ang 80,000 sa pamilya na lalo na nandyan pa. Yung dalawa na inuwi pala nila sa Pampanga, kanina lang yung umakyat ng member ng pamilya na kinuha nila yung 10,000 dito. Please, nabigyan natin. At yung ating community center na inistablisan natin, hindi sila kumihinto na nagdi-distribute ng food pack sa mga biktima na sila pa ata yung naunang pumunta sa Burong and then sa different evacuation center and different barangay sa Pawilito Pagyo. Just a while ago, matatapos lang nila sa Ilita Village sa in Lucas, yung pag-distribute. Nasinsustain yung mga category, yung mga wasapol, at yung kapatid natin sa night market, sa Tindos ng Burnham, at mga iba pang dapat mabibigyan, abutan natin ang tulong na yan. Meron namang nag-donate pa tayo ng Sunday Position at galing din sa pastor yung inipon natin sa noodles at sa dilata yung naibigay sa ating mga nangangailangan na biktima nga itong mga cellphone sa kapapa. Ganun yung ginagawa natin sa ating mga victims of this ongoing, continuing rape.
Yes, Dr.
Sir, nakamit ko kami na yung budget for 2027. Ano po ang ala ng
Yung ating distrito, Municipio Baguio, sana naintindihan natin na one of the smallest DPWH engineering district. So, hindi marami ang national code na within the district in the city of Baguio, umaabot ang numero 1.2 billion yung sa public work, yung mga school building, sana. Meron yung more or less 350 ang nakalagay ngayon sa proposed GAA 2027. And then, meron din yung farm to market road, more or less 40 ang nakalagay dyan. Now, nagkatuklima tayo sa ating in-identify ng mga project kasi nabawasan yung gusto ni 620 million yan, nabawasan ng 115 million yung nakalagay sa GAA. Ngunit yung meeting ng hapon ng Wednesday, ako umakyat, na delivered Secretary Howe, inulit naman sa amin na talagang gawin nila lahat yung at ibabalik nila yan. So, more or less, for our district Baguio, o sana talagang hindi pa nila babawasan, hindi kukulang ng 1.8 billion nakukuha natin. For 2027 about.
hindi na pag-uusapan po ang budget. Lalo na yung may mga naka-lagay po ba na priority para sa flood control, para sa lupit ng budget. Hindi naman po natin ngayon itong parental range na naranasan natin para hindi mo kahit pinakaya na ng ating mga kawakoy.
Yun yung problema sa flood control project kasi dahil nga sa nangyari sa binulgar ni ating presidente, iniimbestiga kung saan allergic ng national government sa flood control project. Why? Sana nga, ngunit parang hindi ko makukuha yung suporta ng karamihan sa amin. Ang piso, ipapasasa na namin yung ating panukala, yung ating bill to make pre-audit complemented by EU mapping of government projects as mandatory requisite for payment. Malaking bagay yung pre-audit compared sa nangyayari ngayon ng post-audit. Sumuporta naman yung commission ng audit dito. Yung sinasabi lang ng commission ng audit, kaya kailangan nila ang additional fund to hire, additional personnel to do the pre-audit. So, ito ang importante na hindi ko gustong mamiss yung budget presentation ng Commission on Audit. Parang sana nga siguraduhin natin at tingnan natin kung walang dinagdag for the purpose of hiring additional personnel to complete the necessary team for this purpose, ay talagang yun yung ilalabas ko at imumove ko na dagdagan natin para nga matupad yung sinasabi natin ng pre-audit coupled with EU mapping as mandatory requisite of payment of all government projects. Kung nangyari yan sana noon, hindi nila inalis yung pre-audit kasi yung pre-audit naman, maalala ninyo, during the height of the application of the City of Baguio sa ginawa ng killer earthquake of July 16, pre-audit yung nangyayari dyan. At malaki naman yung amount na talagang nirelease ng national government na tinulong sa atin to rehabilitate lahat ng ating mga kalsada at ibang structures, government structures, City of Baguio. Wala naman tayong flood of all those projects that we have implemented that rehabilitated the City of Baguio during that time. That's why nagugulat ako kung bakit it was in 2011 during the term of President Noynoy Aquino na inalis nila ang pre-audit at tunga post-audit yung ginagawa nila. Dahil dahil sa tingin ko, lumusok yung mga cost project. Kasi sa post-audit, well, generally, nagbabasa lang sila sa mga dokumento, reports na isasubmit sa kanila. Hindi mandatory yung tingnan nila yung quality, yung program support kung nasunod at kung walang overpricing. O naman yung talagang isang tinitingnan ng pre-audit yan eh. May checklist na sinicheck nila yung compliance sa quality, sinicheck nila yung compliance sa program support, sinicheck nila yung overpricing. Ganun naman eh. So sana may balik yan.
Charter pa.
Sir, bakit pala sila yung mga sama bakit sila tingin nyo bakit sila
Hindi ko alam kung bakit baka marami sa kanila hindi nakabasa pa sa ating panukalang bill na yan. So sana makita nila lahat ay float it out sa aming partido. Sabi naman mga partido ay susuporta sila. Kagaya ng ating House Bill to define the powers of the Bicameral Conference Committee, ano ang limit ng kanilang power at ano ang pwede nilang gawin. Kasi general understanding natin, yung Bicameral Conference Committee principally is there to somewhat reconcile or settle the conflict between the version of the lower house in the Senate also having me conflict and version. Yun sana yung function nila. Kung nangyayari nga, ang maraming tao, nag-i-insert sila na hindi pagdumaan sa lower house o even sa Senado, yun na, nagkalutulukuhan na. Yung naman pag-identify ng mga trato to be funded by the money of our people. Unang-una, identify na priority sa local yan. Usually, may resolution ng mga barangay in the city, taking the city Baguio as an example, at yung na isama sa inaprobahan ng City Development Council as part of the annual investment plan ng city government. Matapos yan, ibabalidate ng Public Works Rate. Kung naibalidate nila at walang nakita nilang programa, the next is i-prepare nila yung program work. Ganun naman yung ginagawa nila dyan, and then ikukulik nila yan para yung yung isusok nila sa DPWH National that will comply the entire proposed budget of the public work for the incoming years na pupunta sa DBM, isasubmit sa Office of the President. Yung nangyari in the last previous year, yun nga, yung sinasabi natin, a lot of malalaki pang amount of info na hindi na kumaan sa lower house o the Senate. Pwede naman na hindi totally bawal yung mag-insert sa Bicameral Conference Committee. Ngunit may criteria, may elemento na pwedeng i-insert lang. Una, kung talagang priority ng isang department at nakalistahan, nakalimutan na inilagay nila is in the Bicameral Conference Committee na pwedeng i-insert lang. At kung maka-accommodate ng talagang total expected revenue that can be distributed or divided of the capital.
Kailan naman considerate naman lahat, hindi naman lahat ng solution na kaya, pero leader ko kada alibay ba person sa COP yung ganun.
Gaya ng sabi ko nga, yung insertion na yan, very exceptional definition of insertion na magagawa sa Bicameral Conference Committee. Kasi may procedure at may criteria na nag-a-allow ng insertion at ulitin ko, exceptional yan. Generally, dapat wala ng insertion. Na-take up lahat ng DBM kasi yung consultation nila, conferences nila sa different departments of government, talagang mandatory yan na yun yung basis nila to prepare yung total budget ng gobyerno na isusubmit nila to the office of the executive, office of the city executive will sign and isasubmit sa conclusion. Ganun na ang proseso.
Sir, kung ang gulo, sa pagkakahayag I would request to review the IRA because of the charges ng mga ano na ho ang ng Lura kung sa anawatin ng Pangulo?
Talagang priority nga ang mga in-identify ng ating mahal ng Pangulo sa kanyang suna as legislative agenda ng House of Congress. That's why, gaya ng sabi mo, yung pagbaba ng buwis, yung pagtaas ng exemption sa basis ng income tax return, yung pag-amenda sa IPERA law, talagang some of those na na-identify ng ating presidente na priority. Yung pag-alis natin sa system law, umaangal ngayon. Yung energy suppliers, sino ngayon ang mag-shoulder sa system laws? Siguro naman, sa tingin ko naman dyan, kasi experience natin sa City of Baguio, siguro talagang tingnan nilang mabuti at i-balance nila yung masama na nangyayari ay meron yung pinapatong na system laws na unreasonable. If you will know, again, using the City of Baguio as an example, di ba si tayo na pinapatong nila yung 18% as system loss sa ating kuryente ni City of Baguio. Masyado namang mataas yan. That's why medyo nagaling noon yung manager ng biniko sa akin kung talagang kinusto ko yan. At noong nag-konferensya kami, umuo naman sila na ibaba nila yan, I think to 8% only. And then, that's why, may reimbursement na ginawa ng biniko to the City of Baguio. At isa pa, if you will recall, yung Asin Hydro was being managed, there was a time na minamanage ng biniko yan. May sulat ng general manager ng biniko. Sinabi niya na ito ang presyo na babayaran namin. This was during the time of Mayor Peter A. Bautista. I think may certain amount ang sinabi niya dyan per kilowatt hour. Ngunit, walang action ata ng city government yan. Kung magbayad ng biniko, mas mababa yung rate na pinagbasihan nila sa mismo nilang proposal. At yung masama pa yan, na matagal na hindi natin nakikita, meron yung dididak na kinukuha ng biniko from the production of Asin Hydro. And then tinanong ko, bakit ninyo kinukuha itong portion of the produce of the Asin Hydro? Sabi nila, kasi kami ang parang sinasabi nila sila ang owner ng linya from Asin to Baguio City. So sabi ko, ay, mali kayo dyan. Look at the record. Iyan ay property ng City of Baguio. Kasi the history of the Asin Hydro was established to ensure na yung yung kailangan ng water district na power to produce water to supply our City of Baguio will be coming from that para nga hindi tataas yung babayaran ng consumers consequence of the City of Baguio. So, property ang City of Baguio, yung water district at the time, yung Asin Hydro, including the line. Nung martial law na pinasa niya President Marcos yung decree that created the cooperative Baguio Water District and yung Binico. Kung tingnan mo yung inventory na na-turn over sa Baguio Water District, one of them na property ng City of Baguio ay yung line na yan. So yun, pinakita ko kay manager ng Binico. Talagang alisin ninyo yan. Ibigay ninyo sa city. Ang kinukukoy nyo yan kasi pag-aari ng city yan. Hindi naman tumutol yung Binico. Binigay sa city yan. At I think even yung computation also ng binayaran nila sa city government, pero nang nakulitan ng city nga more or less 9 million sa Binico dahil nga sa parang sinusort change tayo ng Binico at that time. Yung actual na production sa site, nung billing sila sa City of Baguio, mas mababa yung nasasubmit sa City of Baguio. So, na-compute yung difference, yung umabot ng more or less 9 million na. In fairness to Binico, binayaran naman nila yan. Yun. So, kailangan na ma-revisit, ma-review ang IPIRA at ma-aminda. Yun yung ano.
Thank you, Jonathan. Alvin Pinasol of ABB.
Aside from the budget and the projects, kanayon itu dire-diretso ko kanayon ko ng slide and right. Ano sa ginapit ada di I previously recently declared that kay kaming baga ni Mayor na i-declare ka nga no build zone kay Isag Surong. Aside from Isag Surong, nagadulot ilang slide prone areas because kaya di pa nakita yung appropriate legislative measure or karamihan di mati-city government na ma-address kaya nga areas.
Rumbang na di ka na yung ibang bagatay di nga ang may ikan iti seryoso nga panang-implementar. Talaga nga strictor ka iti inspection amin kadagel ang lugar iti syudad na adda iti balbalay nga tangtangarin dati bantay. At soil test na iti bantay kuma makita the soil capability to hold the water during like this continuing rain. Ganon yung ano, and then isa diyan that sana gawin ng building officials, istriktuhan nila yung construction na hindi sumusunod sa dapat sundin nila the structural durability ng isang structure, especially kung exposed sa possibly landslide. Alam niyo, gaya ng message ko during the regional conference ng disaster preparedness, including my message during the anniversary of the Killer earthquake. Sinabi ko dyan, yung nakita ko na siguro tingnan din natin, isasama natin. Generally, kino-concentrate natin, magsalita tayo ng disaster sa natural disaster. Hindi natin sinasama ang man-made disaster. Bakit ko sinabi yan? Alam niyo, okay. Totoo nga na yung lindol yung ulap sa maraming gusali, City of Baguio, Ayat, Ibada, University of Baguio, Burnham Hotel, Hilltop Hotel, including yung ano ni Uncle Galowigan na binili niya kay delayed prosecutor Fiscal Claridad yan. And then yung malaking hotel din sa Rapid Singhon na yan, maliban kay hotel ni Galowigan. lindol, yung talagang dumali sa kanila. Ngunit kung tingnan natin ang cost evaluation report ng expert, structural engineer, ni galing sa Japan, USA, Philippines, I think, even from Great Britain, hindi ako magkamali dyan. Yung sinabi nila dyan, talagang nag-collapse itong mga gusali, itong mga structure, dahil sinakripisyo natin ang structural durability. Naalala ko na totoo kung sinasabi nila, kasi tingnan natin, yung Hyatt Hotel, kung hindi ako magkamali, 1984, pinimpoint nila na hindi structurally stable. Ngunit, nag-introduce daw sila ng remedial measures. Sinabi nila, at least na, is structurally stable. You were wrong. Kasi nung nangyari ng lindol, hindi pala structurally stable. Yung Nevada Puti, yung pala Nevada Puti, I think this was limited to only 4 story. Yun yung building permits na naiibigay. Kinagdagan nila ng halos 4 na close. Yung joint, yung dinagdag nila, yun yung unang nag-collapse, entirely damaged the entire building. So again, human disaster din yung talagang isang factor that made this building collapse. Yung Burnham Hotel, by coincidence, I had the opportunity at the time to meet Carmen Sitariz, the governor, former congressman, mayaman na from Marinduque province. So, kinukwento niya kay Assistant Secretary at the time, Sabado Barcaga, na yung Burnham Hotel niya, kasi siya pala ang principal owner, yung sinasabi ng local structural engineer, mag-file sila. Kung sabi raw yung mga kasama niya, magastos yung mag-file. Meron yung pinakamagaling na structural engineer of the Philippines, professor sa UP, ay konsultahin natin. Kinonsulta nila, they brought that structural engineer dito sa site. Tinignan niya, sa tingin niya, na hindi naman nag-conduct ng soil test, ay hindi kailangan yung mag-file. Okay yung lupa, Malaysia. Kasi noong lindol na yan, nag-akordion yung 6 story na kinain ng lupa. Talagang kahit gaanong tibay yung inyong feelings. Nandyan ka at the time na maririnig mo yung boses from underground na tulungan po ninyo kami na wala akong magagawa, talagang nakakalungkot. Yung Hilda Putel, hindi inisyuan ng building officials ng occupancy permit. Bakit? Yung inisyo nilang building permit, only for 4 story. Dinagdagan ni Kas Janutan ng other 4 story. That's why they did not issue the occupancy permit. Nung nangyari, yung talagang dumali dahil the hotel that totally damaged the entire hotel. Pariho din sa Rapid Singhol. Yan Gabur Daita, tinuunan ka. Kurang structural engineering intervention to make it structurally stable. So, nung nangyari, talagang inanot ti ganun lagi na ikadakton nga po kayo iyalan. Yeah. UP, Kamos building di UP, dahil insilpo ka, dahil nagsilpo na, isuma na nagkipuwi nga ng patay ti more or less 5 students at that time. So, maliwanag yung sinasabi natin na minsan, contributory, principal contributory ang man-made disaster. So when we talk of disaster, dapat pagsamahin natin ang preparasyon for natural as well as man-made disaster. At yun, yung sinasabi ko kanina, na tama naman si Mayor na dapat gawin natin ang talagang thorough investigation, inspection sa lahat ng mga lugar sa City of Baguio where there are residential houses exposed to the mountains. Conduct nila yung soil test if possible sa bundok na yan. Tingnan nila ang structural durability ng mga structures na occupied by our constituents. Kasi kung hindi nila gawin yan, the possibility kung may landslide na naman, marami yung mabibiktima.
Hello, Alvin. Thank you, Alvin. Liza, about okay.
Follow up po sa kanina na proposal nyo na there should be a pre-audit also a geomapping. Sir, nabanggit na rin na hindi kumakasa itong proposal na to, or hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng attention ng ibang ibang mga lugar. Sir, ano in case, worst not to worst, hindi po talagang maapakrubahan itong tinutulak nyo, ano po ang pwedeng gawin para protektahan natin yung ating mga kababayan sa possible na maulit ng mga nangyayari?
Well, talagang in Congress, I've been telling inviting our colleagues to co-author with us sa bill na yan. I have said that during the briefing ng Appropriations Committee. Sinabi ko kay Chairman namin yan. At yun nga ang sinasabi ni Chairman, baka kailangan yung pagpasa ng batas to that effect. Kasi kaya may resolution na dapat sa budget 2026, ilagay namin as part of the provision sa General Appropriation Act na mandatory requisite ng payment of government projects pre-audit complemented by geomapping. Ngunit hindi naman na isama sa 2026 sa General Appropriation Act. That's why I filed the bill. Yung geotagging, meaning to say, i-video nila yung project na parang kahit asan ka sa sulok ng Pilipinas, pwede yung ma-access sa website ng Philippine.
Sir, ngayon po, anong level or stage na ito ng legislation? Anong stage na po ito?
We will deliberate it in the committee level. Well, Congress is saddled, especially sa impeachment proceeding na ito. So, talagang yun yung nag-occupy ng maraming oras ng Congress. Hindi lang sa Senado, kami kasi yung membro ng prosecution team, nakatutok sila dyan. So, yung chairman ng committee, sa bagay, vice chair, na ngunit, as I said, naapikuhan yung schedule ng Congress.
Sir,
Babalikan natin si Liza. Sige, maraming muna, Liza.
Just recently, sir, I understand, because of the price of the materials, construction supplies, applying currently the program of work, the DPWH. Have you reconciled this with the agents already? Ano hanggang nga nababadi pa? Man-mano i-get na namin nakontraktyon na makikontrata mo kasi nababaunay ko na ito.
Well, no malagip yun, bagatayo kada kayo na talagang tinutukan na natin yan. We talk with knowledge ng Secretary of James Dizon of the Public Works and Highways, yung CMPD, Construction Materials Price Price Data, CMPD yan. At dahil dyan, we conducted ocular inspection lahat ng mga warehouses na nagbibinta ng construction materials. Yung composition ng team, ako, yung city district engineer, office, yung regional director, in her office, with other representatives, the city engineer, city of Baguio, at saka DTI. And sinabit namin sa Public Works and Highways yung aming canvas. Nakita natin at meron talaga ang mababa na costing nila compared sa actual cost of the city of Baguio. At because of that, nag-issue naman si Secretary Vince Dizon ng DO 43 na yung sinasabi ng DO 43 kung ano ang talagang prices ng construction materials sa lugar where this project is to be implemented, yun yung i-adapt nila. So, nakalapit sa akin the other day na mababa nga ang estimate yung mga project na i-defeat nila. So, dinamagan ko si Kwan, construction na, hindi construction, si Engineer Lila. At sabi niya, hindi naman sinunod natin yung talagang prices ng construction materials in the city of Baguio. Yung talagang dahilan at sinasabi ng ilan of the contractors, mababa kasi hindi kasali yung VAT sa kanilang estimate. Connect automatic naman yan nasasali. So kung idagdag mo yung VAT, talagang it will level it up. At saka yung cost ng hunting and hauling.
Direct effects and other effects na kayo price increase i-works ko yun sir. Ibig sabihin na yung construction material?
Nalalawag ang apektara natin presyo ng construction material. Diba? Ang mo tayo man kailana. Nung umato itilana, halos aming nagagatangan tayo mapiktaran. Because we all need oil in the manufacturing of all these goods that are mostly sold in the market, mostly consumed. That's the problem we are facing right now. Kasi hindi pa stable yung settlement ng gera sa Middle East between the United States, Israel, and Iran, as well as yung Hezbollah of Lebanon, at saka yung Hezbollah also of Iraq. So, at saka yung mga Houthis of Yemen, talagang it's inflicting talagang suffering to all the people of the world.
Budget hearings, deliberations. Sir, are you or do you have confidence na they would finally look at your proposal that they will pre-audit and give?
As I said, this was in principle approved by the Commission on Audit. So, talagang hindi ko gustong mamimiss yung presentation ng kuwa sa kanilang budget para ulitin natin sila. Tingnan ko ba ang kanilang budget kung meron silang naidagdag na amount to hire additional needed personnel to implement yung sinasabi natin pre-audit and DO mapping. So, I am happy na, I discovered na from Baguio City ang ibang mataas na nasa commission ng audit. If you look at the last, the Campo Atayan, it was from Rizal, the graduate of Isilio. Namit ko din yung, I think, undersecretary, graduate din ng Isilio. So, we are proud of the products of our universities and colleges in the city of Baguio.
Actually na po. Principal, sabi ko sir na in-approve ng commissioner ng audit yung inyong tulak. Sir, pag-implement nila, nagkaroon silang budget for additional personnel. Do you think there is still a need for the passage of the law?
Of course, there is a need for the passage of the law para kung tingnan mo, yung nangyari nga, ginagawa nila yung pre-audit, inalis nila. Ngunit kung may batas, hindi mo pwedeng alisin. That is such importance of ating malo. Kung memorandum lang, circular lang, you can change it overnight.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Lisa, from Singapore.
Congressman, any update on the autonomy bill and also
The meeting na.
your bill regarding the collection of this?
Charter.
First, yung autonomy bill. I've been talking with the Northern Alliance. Hinihintay pa natin yung scheduling with the Executive Secretary para puntaan na natin. At by all means, we want to have an audience with the President in the autonomy bill natin. At we have agreed, I hope no one will back out, na lahat ng mga regional directors ng line agencies in the CAR, the local chief executives at kami, mga congressmen, including the representatives of the private sectors, should be in unison to go down and face the President. Parang tanungin natin dirisahan, ano ba talaga ang pananaw ni Apo Presidente regarding our reklamo. Matagal na sinusulong natin to implement Section 15, Article 10 of the 1987 Constitution to have an autonomous region in Cordillera. Muslim Mindanao had already achieved autonomy pursuant to the same provision of the Constitution. Bakit naman di natin magawa sa ating region? Nakakalungkot na hindi mo mabiblin yung ibang tao na yung inaasikaso ng gobyerno, yung nagkugulo. O may nag-iisip na maggulo din natin sa to. Hindi naman yung sabi ko. Let us continue to make the difference. Continue to clamor and fight for our autonomy in a peaceful way. To show the character in the kind of Cordillera people. Yon yung that's the autonomy bill. And then yung isa, pasasubmit ni Apo Mayor yung proposal regarding merging of our barangays. Kasi di-requestin yung Quezon City Council requested na isasali natin yan sa amendment ng revision ng ating city. Sabi ko, sige, isubmit na ninyo yan kasi yung boundary dispute natin between Baguio and Tuba, there's already an agreement to that effect. Nakuha ko na ang technical description from DNR. So ready na tayo sa amendment ng Section 3, I think, regarding the meets and bounds of the city of Baguio to incorporate yung settlement or boundary dispute between the city of Baguio and Tuba, of course, they approved the province of Benguet. So, yun yung ano, and we are doing it right now. Yung amendment, revision ng ating city charter.
Di follow-up, bro? Ayan. Si Franklin.
Tom.
Sir,
Tam.
Level na lang, Congressman Moise. Sir, yung follow ko lang po yung mayroon bang plano ang mga congressmen ng Cordillera at mga executive director ng regional offices na makipagtulong kay Presidente para maging urgent yung magkakaroon ng maaprobahan yung House Bill ng Cordillera?
Yun nga yung sinabi ko kanina na mayroon kami usapan to that effect. At actually, nung bago kami mag-recess, kinausap ko si Congressman Victor, anak ni Executive Secretary, na to get an schedule with Executive Secretary for this purpose. At noong zona ni Presidente, July 28, kinausap ko si Secretary rito. So please, tingnan nga niya sa kanyang schedule parang yung sinasabi ko kanina, punta namin at kausapin namin siya. And then, by all means, to get a schedule of the President for all of us to face the President and tanungin sa kanya kung ano talaga ba ang kanyang pananaw o decision regarding our autonomy bill.
Thank you.
Follow ko na si Doc. And
Sir, ano ho ba ang as in the Cordillera is more preferable para sa atin? Could it be Mandanas only or so yan daw po.
Wala namang conflict yung Mandamas. Sinasabi nilang Mandanas sa
Garcia.
law sa ating clamor for autonomy. Actually, it will complement and supplement yung ano. Yung Mandanas law, pinalaki lang o share ng local government unit from the revenues of the national government. But it did not address yung pagbibigay ng, of course, autonomiya or power for us to exercise our liberty to manage our natural resources in our affairs in the region, come out with our own priority programs in line sa priority ng national government, but not necessarily the priority of the national government. So, yun naman. That's why we have been having a lot of consultations and conferences about this one. You know, the present bill covers not only financial autonomy but administrative autonomy. You will know that the previous bill, gaya ng unang naipasa na Organic Act, which was not ratified by the Cordilleras except Ifugao, and the second autonomy law that was not again ratified, only the province of Apayao ratified it, and it was only concentrated on administrative autonomy. May comment to that effect. That's why yung ating present bill, it includes administrative autonomy. I-devolve natin yung mga line agencies na walang prohibition for them to be devolved to the autonomous region. Na-compute na natin magkano ba ang budget nila, which will cover personal services, MOOA, and capital outlay, plus the budget of the autonomous government. And then tingnan natin yung expected revenue ng autonomous government kung kakasya nga at of course yung lumabas kasya. We are financially viable and financially and administratively viable if sana hindi palitan yung provisions ng ating autonomy bill. Kung palitan nila, welcome kung it will improve the same. Hindi naman yung talagang it will disapprove the same. Na yun yung nangyari sa first organic law that had been approved in the 1990s.
Sir.
Wala pa.
Sir, may alternative po ba kayo as a congressman kung sakaling hindi po magkaroon ng reality itong autonomous region ng Cordillera?
Wala. Yung alternative mo lang dyan, you will remain as a special administrative region.
Hindi na ibabalik sa mga former regions.
Well, that's a question that we cannot say it will not. But, well, hopefully it will not. Kasi we are a special region, we said, because of Executive Order Toto 0. Yun naman eh. Kung tingnan mo yung tatlong major purposes of Executive Order Toto 0, 1, to manage our own affairs in the region. Number 2, to accelerate the socio-infrastructure development of the units in the region. Number 3, to prepare our region into an autonomous region. Yun yung tatlo na purposes yan. Now, if we do not achieve being autonomous, yung sinabi naman ng Supreme Court sa cases that have been decided by it, we will continue to exist as a special region until and after an organic act had been passed by Congress, ratified by the required numbers of province in the Cordillera. Yun naman yung pakalagay yan. So, that's the basis of my answer na we will remain to be a special region. But there is still the danger na talaga ma-report yung ano. Yun yung posibleng mangyari kung sakaling may pasa ang organic act at yung hindi mag-ratify dyan, magputol dyan na hindi kasali sa coverage ng autonomy, yung sinasabi nila, they will remain as another region. Mahirap yan kasi in terms of land area, in terms of income, they will not surely qualify. So the only feasible possibility is balik ka, you will be attached to the nearest region. To you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Franklin.
Good evening, sir. Pa-update, sir, sa update and stand po ninyo sa proposal na i-postpone ulit ang barangay and SK elections.
Well, I'm sure you have heard na there are proposals, House bills filed in the Senate, as well as in the House. A lot of those bills filed in the House to postpone yung barangays Sangguniang Kabataan eleksyon to more or less November of 1998, 2028 I should say, hindi 1998, 2028. Marami ang nag-utol diyan dahil nga sa medyo problematic situation because of what is happening, the war in the Middle East, na kailangan natin yung ating body to address certain kasi billions din yung kailangan mo to conduct at the barangay Sangguniang Kabataan election. So they want it be utilized for other purpose in have an election. Ako ang medyo duda ako dyan, but tingnan ko naman yung sinasabi nila, okay naman na ma-postpone. Duda ako kasi, if you will know, may decision ng Supreme Court to the effect na hindi pwede i-extend, i-postpone ng eleksyon ng barangay officials in this case kasi you are depriving the people of the right to choose or select their barangay officials. Yun yung in substance, rationale kung bakit sinabi ng Supreme Court yan. So let us wait what will happen.
Any follow-up, Andre? Any more questions from our friends in the media? Yes, Ms. Rose.
Well, yes, we are principal author of the proposed amendment of the Senior Citizens Act. So we will see how we can, how this bill will be deliberated and tackled by Congress. Another bill na tingin ko, importante for the city of Baguio that ang filing, pinapatapos ko lang yung inventory. Yung 211 titles. You will know, importante ito. Kasi, malawak pa ang coverage ng 211 titles na hindi pa na-aksyonan yung petition for validation. Hindi natin alam kung they will revert back as part of the town site reservation, alienable and disposable land, or they will be violated. That's why, kung matapos nila yung inventory, na I talked with Director Moreno, sabi niya, please give us up to Monday to really scrutinize our records. Ilan ang mga petitions for validation. Importante ito, 5 within the reglementary period na hindi pa na-actionan. So, yung amendment natin dyan is of course, we have to localize the committee that will validate or not validate the 211 titles. Yung problema na nakikita natin diyan, yung members of the validating committee, the Secretary of Justice as chairman, Solicitor General and Executive Director of the Land Management Bureau of the DNR as members. Walang budget for this purpose at these people are performing nationwide functions. Busy sila. So, yun na. Talagang kakaligtaan yung pag-deliberate nila sa mga pending petition for validation. In the meantime, lugi ang ating gobyerno, specifically the city of Baguio, kasi tingin mo yan, yung mga occupants, applicants of this land, they cannot say that I have the title. And then, yung buwis na binabayaran, talagang kailangan ng ano yan. So, dapat ito ay fearless possible time, ma-validate, ma-aksyonan yung pending petition for validation.
Sir, kay saan na
Ilutiyo, Retaro.
Well, nalalaman the decision of the Supreme Court na null and void. Presidential 12 Decree 1271, kuna naman ay null and void na gigayda. Isong nga rin gigayda pasan ni Apo President Marcos during martial law when he was exercising both executive and legislative power. Gapon ng gobyerno tinangitin ti titulo na digiti na nagdaga. Kaasiman, dagidjadapiman, talagang natatao na nakaitidan ti titulo, occupying the land, ito yang tibalbalay din niya, ito yung improvements da. Iso nga, in pasana da ito nga decree to give opportunity to those na hang party ti reservation na, ito importante, those areas covered by 211 titles which are not part of government reservation. Yun yung isang requisite yan. And then second, mag-file ng mag-request yung title holder ng validation at bayaran nila ang 15% of the assessed value of the property at the time na nag-file sila ng validation. Ganun naman nakalagay dyan. Well, the option da, yang ngaro, i-give up the applyan dan under no qualified under free patent o no, ituloy dyan at applyan ti TSA. Problema na naman natin sa TSA, mandatory yung public bidding. Kung mag-apply ka ng TSA, kung nililitaw na mag-outfit sa inyo, saan ka ngayon? That's why, again, in-explain ko yan, importante na party, yung revision ng City Charter sa Section 50, na alisin natin yung TSA, direct sale sa mga qualified occupants or applicants. Those that can qualify under the residential pre-patent law, then they can apply with that law. Ngunit yung hindi qualified, then as we said, direct sale sa mga actual occupants or qualified applicants.
Yeah, sir. Nag-win the BCDA, the proposal nyo to segregate the 13 barangays. I am not clear, what stage is it now, sir?
Nag-approve the BCDA, ijay House Bill tayo to separate 13 barangays from the cooperation of Kamjanggay. So nga, approve ijay Special Committee on BCDA, napanid jay committee ti DNR, approve ijay, and then ipiprepare nila yung yung report. Ang mga kasapulan iti budget, separate budget dito, possibly it will go to ordinary. No, mag-ilimpat the committee on DNR ijay report ka.
Kaya ba by next year dito, sir?
Nya?
Kaya ba by next year? Next year, mabalinin?
Hopefully. I'm even hoping na sana tatanga taon po. Max ko na din.
Masapol pati counterpart bill na di Senate dito, sir?
Awan ti counterpart na di Senate, siguro makita gamot na tanong what a total it's considered as a local bill.
Local bill. So,
Okay. Maraming salamat.